calling Gretchen Whitmer's, quote, vague framework of emergency laws. They say they won't strictly enforce all of the governor's stay-at-home orders in their counties. Joining us live tonight, one of those sheriffs who's pushed back a bit, Kim Cole of Mason County. Sheriff, good to have you with us.
Hey, Shannon, thank you for having me. It's a privilege and an honor.
Okay, I want to play a little bit of what Governor Whitmer has had to say in recent days. Here she is.
The sad irony here is that the protest was that they don't like being in this stay-home order, and they may have just created a need to lengthen it, which is something that we're trying to avoid at all costs.
I mean, Sheriff, it seems like there's a big chasm between the two sides on this, but you've said, listen, some of this makes sense, some of it doesn't. Why have you decided you can't enforce all of what the governor's asking?
So one of the things that is a fallout of this whole order, and our number one priority is to protect the people, right? But one of the issues that we've been having is people calling 911 or calling our office and saying, hey, my neighbor should only have 2 cars in their driveway, but they have 3, and we need you to go over and check license plate numbers and go to the door, check IDs, make sure the addresses on the IDs are matching the address where you're at, and if they're not, then you need to tell people to leave. And I think that's a bridge too far. We're being asked to go on people's private property on anonymous tips and remove people from homes, and I think that's a bridge too far.
Where do you draw the line between what is actually going to protect people and stop the spread of the virus and policies like this that you think could be violating people's constitutional rights? Because that was their argument at the Capitol earlier this week, that they showed up, a lot of them without masks, they were there in force, and they said, I had one of them tell me they're more scared of the governor than the virus.
Well, obviously we need to follow the CDC guidelines, the social distancing, the wearing the mask, the hand sanitizer. We want people to follow those guidelines, but we also want people to be protected on their own property. The motorboat thing that just really set people over the edge. In Mason County, we have 77 inland lakes and streams, and people like to fish. And they can't fish, yet their neighbor can break out their ORV and go on trails and ride off-road vehicles, but a person can't go in a 16-foot boat off his dock and fish. And my worry is, Shannon, that officers are going to be put in bad positions, in dangerous positions, by going on people's private property and checking IDs to make sure they belong where they're at. And it's going to end up, I pray it doesn't happen, but there's a probability of a bad encounter between a citizen and a police officer.
All right, I want to give you a chance to answer one of your critics. This tweet comes from Snarky Lawyer. It says, remove the sheriffs from their positions. State officers don't have the right to refuse to follow the orders of the chief executive of the state and keep their jobs. The courts decide what is and isn't constitutional, not sheriffs. Your response?
Well, I'm elected by the citizens of Mason County, not a particular attorney. I would just say part of our mission statement here at the Sheriff's Office actually says the mission of the Mason County Sheriff's Office is to enforce the laws of the state of Michigan and to protect the innocent from those who would violate those laws by diligent traffic enforcement, thorough criminal investigation, and by humane incarceration of those sentenced by the court. The power and authority of the sheriff to accomplish this mission derives from the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the state of Michigan. It does not come from a city charter, a governor, a judge, or a president. It comes from, quote, we the people, unquote. So I'm elected by the people of Mason County, and they can have a decision as to whether or not they want me to be the sheriff for the next 4 years after this term is up.
Well, in the meantime, Sheriff, to you and all of your deputies and personnel who are out there serving on the front lines, trying to make the best of this situation and showing up in dangerous conditions many times, we thank you very much, and thank you for your time tonight, sir.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure and honor again. Thank you.
All right, coming up, retired Brigadier General Robert Spalding on how the U.S. can actually hold China accountable.
That was beautifully stated. Talk about Council of Constables. He would truly comprehend the idea of the Council of Constables. I don't know why I'm still videotaping the screen, but yeah, that was amazingly stated. He's an amazing sheriff.